It's your boy Bubba Dub. Welcome to Trash Talk. That's right, NBA Trash Talk All-Star. We in Utah. It's going down. Let's fucking go.
Trash, super trash, super trash, 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 super trash, keep trash, keep trash, keep trash.
Welcome to Trash Talk. I'm your host Bubba Dub, and today I have a special guest. I'm about to wake everybody up today. I'm talking about if you ain't woke, you about to be woke. Take a look at this.
Right? If you ever looked at Curly in photography, then you know that we are electrical beings, and it is beyond the human eye spectrum, but that exists, right? Now, some people have higher orbs than others. But the key to that is the same way when you walk into a room and you can change the atmosphere, is because you actually bring atmospheric conditions with you. Right. And so, you know, one of the key things that I do everywhere I go is I make sure that I set the atmosphere. I'm not changed by it.
Coming to the stage, I want y'all to give it up.
Yeah, brother,
for 19 keys, everybody.
Some charters out that way. Yeah. Hey, ready? What's happening? How you doing? Man, I'm blessed. How you feeling? Amazing.
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm magnificent, man. I'm feeling good.
Already, man.
Yes, sir.
Trash Talk, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna dive right into it, man.
All right. Talk to me.
How can us black people, how can we change the narrative, man, right now in today's world?
Control it.
And that means, like, as far as what you say, control it.
Well, I mean, you gotta ask what the narrative is. Many narratives, but the only way you can change anything is by having control and power. You know what I mean? Power can seize nothing without demand, right?
Correct.
So if we want to change a narrative in hip hop, you have to own hip hop.
Correct.
Right? So we are the producers in the sense that it comes from us, but we're not the owners. We don't control, you know, the sound. We don't control, you know, the lyrics that can get passed, right? So if we not from a level of independence, control, power, and ownership, then we can't change the narrative. So if we focus on the economics of it, then we can control the money. That's the resources.
Correct.
You feel me? That's how you change the narrative, is by owning it.
So what you're saying is, like, we need to spend our money more wisely.
Well, we need to spend our time more wisely and our money, right? Think about it. The most powerful thing in America and in the world is media. Media shapes the narrative. Correct. It controls what people feel and think about reality. Correct. They can be completely false. But if you got the ability to control media, then you control what the narrative is. So therefore, if we take platforms like this one, like mine, and different platforms that we know about, ain't nobody in the way of us utilizing our platform the way to control our narrative, right? Everybody that know each other in the media space, if they was to get together and they had a lunch, and at this lunch, the same way we've heard about secret agenda lunches, right? Because everybody talk about, oh, it's no agenda. Agenda just means a list of items that you come to in a normal setting at a business meeting. Correct. To get things done. So the question isn't what is their agenda, it's what's our agenda, right? So if you don't get the people that are in positions of power, in positions of control, if you don't get together with the creatives and the financiers, then you can't have the control.
Well, let's say the people that's in control that can help change the narrative, what if they don't want to, you know, go align with what we're trying to do?
Well, then you gotta get them out the way. You know, listen, well, when it comes to, you know, wartime, when it comes to power, you gotta push people out the way if they don't want to give it up. You know, it's either peaceful, right? Yep. You know, I was talking to my brother Rashad, it's either a peaceful transition or it's a non-peaceful transition. You get your choice, right? We come from hip hop and, you know, in the street culture understands that. Correct. But people don't take that same energy in the street culture when it comes to eliminating somebody in your way and taking that same in business when it comes to us getting our way and getting some progress. Correct. That same cat that'll kill somebody because, you know, they did something wrong to him in the street would then get bent over backwards and get played in a contract with somebody in a corporate setting. You feel me? So if you're not applying that same energy that you consider yourself to be in those same situations, then you gonna be a boy, right? And so what we trying to learn how to do is how do we become grown? How do we act like grown men and women when we control our own everything? Correct. And you can't get without that besides ownership, but you can't get there without education. Because what we don't know is what kills us. What kills us, correct. You feel me? We read a contract, it got 50 pages, you don't understand nothing. Yeah. All you know is the outcome, what you want from it. You don't understand the process. Right. So that's how they play us. Right. We don't know the language of legalese. We don't know the language of ownership, the language of finance. So you can't skip the process. You got to focus on what's the process of development, and that produces the outcome.
Okay, switching gears, you're saying control. Like we all know, I'm going to sports. So it's not enough black owners. It's not even no black owners in the NFL. Like what can we do as a people to change that? Is there any kind of way we can change that or challenge these people that's in power? Like, hey, you got to let us in, because the NFL is 85% black any motherfucking way.
Yeah.
But ain't none of the owners black.
Yeah.
Like, how can we change that? How can we force our hand on these motherfuckers? Like, look, you have to bring us in. Like, we not just satisfied with being players or coaches. We want to own some shit.
Well, there's two ways you can go about it. You can create your own, right? You create your own, because if 85% of the players in the NFL are black, do you want to go through the process that the owners went through to develop their own franchise, right? That's the thing. If those players, because we got all the talent in our community, so we have all the leverage. Nobody is going to watch no NFL that's 85% dominated by white boys on the field, right? They're not going to be able to do the dynamic things that we can do. Now, I know everybody's seen the NBA All-Star game when white boy came out spinning on us, and I congratulate him March 1st after Black History Month, but at the end of the day, you feel me? When you go look at all of the top dunks that was in the NBA or the NFL, or the top plays, those are black men out there putting their body on the line, right? I believe those are not the men that's gonna start the league. It's the businessmen, the ones that we prop up and say, oh, they got money, they got wealth. If we're not willing to go through the same process that white men did to build their institution, then we always go complain about them to change their mind. So two is, you can't force their hand unless you're willing to sacrifice, right? If you're not willing to sacrifice that watch time, oh no, I gotta watch this game, right? Because it's economic starvation, right?
Correct.
It's boycotting and boycotting. Boycotting is when you actively don't participate in something. I'm not gonna support you. So when they feel that dent and they say, you know what, damn, maybe we can add more diversity to it. We can let more black people in, right? That's a challenge to the system. We've seen though with Kaepernick though, everybody fold their hands. So they don't believe that, because they understand that all we gotta do is wait y'all out. So how much would it cost to wait y'all out versus to allow y'all in, right? So at some point in time, you just got to build your own, and 2023 is much easier than any other point in time. So a lot of those old complaints about how hard it would be is not the same. You start a league right now, you get billions of views. You understand me? Like billions of views. If there was a league started with top players and they play in the game, who not gonna watch that? Same way in the NBA, you take the top players and put them on the blacktop street ball, and that's their league, everybody's watching that. And what do they need from there? Sponsorship. They need distribution in the media deal. Well, now we're at this point in time when we can create all of that, right? So why wouldn't you do that if that's where the eyeballs is? NFL is just attention.
That's all it is, yeah. So, my thing is, so in today's world, in 2023, do we have any black leaders?
Yeah, all of those who out there actively leading. Right, I think the idea that we always waiting for somebody is the issue of why we never get nowhere, right? There's many black leaders, but it don't have to look like what the leaders of the past look like. It don't have to look like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or, you know, Marcus Mosiah Garvey or Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They sacrificed and laid the blueprint so that each individual black man can be a leader. Right? So today it's about putting the onus on each individual person rather than giving them a target they can shoot down when one person say, okay, I'm the leader. Right? So the leader exists in the actions, it exists in the vision, it exists in the oath that we take towards each other, towards progress on a daily basis.
So when we have a leader, I think, I'm just saying for us leaders, like us as a community, we turn them down like Kanye West.
Yeah. Well, you know, this thing about leadership is you ain't got to be liked all the time. You understand me? A leader is a general. A general don't have to like the orders from a soldier don't have to like the general's orders. Correct. But he got to follow them. Correct. Because if you want to win the war, then you got to follow the orders. So therefore, there are many leaders, right? And, you know, being a man, you're supposed to be a natural leader.
Correct.
You understand me? So when other men don't feel like they have the balls or, you know, the testicular fortitude and the courage to lead, then what they saying is they not a man. You know? Yeah. So you can't operate from that place of fear. So no, I'm not gonna put nobody at just the leader there, but there are many. And we see them out there actively doing the work, teaching the people, leading them, right, doing progress in the communities, activating different spaces. And the whole entire thing is, I don't need everybody to do the same thing.
Correct.
I don't need you to be on what I'm on. I'm already on that.
Yeah,
I need you to play your position of where you at,
Yeah.
right? Because you in the room I can't get to. I'm in places you can't be at.
Correct.
But as long as our agenda is in those rooms, then we can win.
We can win. I see what you're saying. Do you think you'll ever be another black president again?
I don't think we had a black president yet.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between having an African American president or a brown man in office versus having somebody with a revolutionary spirit in there, right? Who can, you know, like imagine if we had our version of a black Trump, right? But for us, that would be a true black president. Obama never called himself a black president at no point in time in his office. So why do we call him that? That's the question. So it's symbols without substance, right? I want to see a black president, you know, that got parents and descendants from America, right? From America. Obama don't have that. He has a white mother, he has an African father.
Correct.
But we need somebody uniquely that is from this inherent experience of America. So if we want a black American president, you know.
And who is that though? Who is that? Like, it's your opinion. Like,
well, that's the thing about it. White men don't have to be special to be qualified.
I fucking agree.
And we always looking for somebody special to be qualified. It can be any black man the same way as any white man.
White man, correct.
Right? We got to get to that same point to where, man, there's so many black men out here that's qualified to lead this country. And why do I say that? Look at Sleepy Joe Biden. Some days he don't even know he's president.
That motherfucker can't even eat
That's
solid
what I'm
food.
saying.
He a pure eater.
So if Joe Biden is qualified, you can't tell me, bros, that I know in my peer group and people that I see create multi-million-dollar companies and create social activism programs ain't qualified. What's the difference? Politician does not mean you're the smartest person.
Hey, I agree. I agree with that. Honestly, I feel like when you say Joe Biden, I feel like that's the same way they threw Kamala Harris in there. It's like, okay, but she never addressed herself as being black.
No.
She always said that she gets the woman of color. That's it.
No,
So
we need an African descendant of American, not just slavery, but American tradition and culture.
we need a motherfucker like Viola Davis in that motherfucker.
Yeah, we need somebody that's real. Somebody that gonna speak. I don't want to be no president, man.
Why not?
President can't do shit. That's why he a figurehead to a corporation.
So you saying they're a puppet?
Absolutely, everybody know that. Yeah, he don't have
Even
full
Trump.
power.
Even Trump was a puppet.
That's why they was mad at him. Trump was what they consider to be the last president. He destroyed the whole idea of what a president was. He went in there and just started breaking up the rules.
That motherfucker was giving out checks too. Like,
a lot of people was getting money under Trump.
That's what I'm saying. I must agree. I made the most money I ever made under Trump.
You know why black men like Trump and nobody wants to talk about it? It's because Trump represented an energy that black men don't even get to express themselves, right? Just being a man, right? And whether you consider his behavior to be good or bad, that wasn't the point. But we silenced all the time.
Yeah.
People tell you what you can't do, and Trump represents, I'm gonna do what I want to, I'm gonna take up space. And most men desire that ability to be real men in these spaces. But you gotta fake, you gotta change your voice, you gotta change the way you walk, you gotta change the way you talk. You can't speak about certain things, right? You can't help your homies out. Like, no, as a black man, we'd be like, damn, I would've did the same things that Trump did in reference to my culture.
Correct.
I would've got rappers and black people out of jail as well. I would've figured out ways to give money to the hood. I would've said, forget the politics and forget who I make mad. I wanna make my people happy and my constituents, right? We not gonna get that though. Nah, so, you know, the saviorism ain't in a presidency. You understand me? It's in yourself, right? And so when everybody start telling that tale to their children that the only way we gonna get saved is if we save ourselves and we utilize the technology and the instances of this time to do it, then we get there. But as long as we thinking that it's gonna happen in the vote, we gonna keep voting and keep hoping.
Yeah, it's just like I have a problem with, we'll get dressed up and run to do the Grammys, but when it was time to go to do the BET Award, we gonna perform.
Yeah.
But when it's the Grammys, we quick to go and perform. Like, the mentality of black people today is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and you know,
it's like we want to fit in, like we want to be accepted.
It's aspirational, right? We want to be accepted in places that's not made for us. That's why we wear things that's not made for us, right? We put on the brands because we don't have that same level of security within ourselves, so we feel this will make us more, right? And so we're always trying to do that. Every time we put together things that always look like like we emulating their spaces, right? Rather than bringing our own energy, right? And so, you know, we at this point in time where, you know, you all see me wearing nothing but all black. You feel me? Like, this me. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are afraid to show up as themselves. You understand me? When they market to us based on things that we can't have. You understand me? And so we say, well, now I got it. Look at me, All right? So then we use that to stun on each other. Like, oh, you can't afford this. You ain't got this.
There you go. Yeah.
We hear the braggadocious terms in rap music all the time. But at the end of the day, that don't mean shit. You doing that because you're insecure. And on the inside, you don't feel much about yourself. And if you take that shit off and you walk in the room, you feel like nothing.
Nothing, correct.
Right? That's why a lot of these rap niggas let these white boys slap them on the ass and treat them like whatever they want to. Because they feel like there's somebody standing next to them.
What do you think the future holds for black relationships?
Man, now that's a tough one right there, man. But I tell you what the future I want to see. You know what I'm saying? A future where we re-normalize black men and women and healthy relationships. You know, the future that I see, it's not a good one based on the trajectory and the path that we're going, because we can't even agree on what a man is. We can't even agree on what a woman is.
Speak on it.
We can't agree on the roles and the dynamics of the relationship. So if you can't have agreements, you can't have a relationship. If you can't, as a man and a woman wants a man that's masculine, right? That's a leader. But if you can't agree on that that's his role to lead, ain't nothing we gonna do with each other.
Yeah, I feel like in today's time, most black women, they feel like without their hair being done, they're not beautiful. No, you beautiful without it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we live in a world where it's like they need validation. Like, no, baby, you a queen.
Well, that's the thing, man. It's like natural is the highest level.
Most definitely.
They made us think that, you know, augmenting ourselves in many different ways is the highest level. Being yourself is the highest level. You know what I'm saying? Being original is the highest level, not plagiarism, right? Most of the things that people do, that's just because they seen somebody else do it. There's not too many original people in the world that walk around. Most of everybody is clones of other people, and they copying people that copy somebody else. So they're not even copying the original, they copying copies. You understand me? And so getting back to the place of originality where if you was to really express who you are, right, show that in the way you show up, right? If I was a stylist and I say, you know, how do you want to exhibit yourself? How you want to express yourself based on who you are? And he'd be like, man, I'm regal, I'm fearless, I'm this, that, and the third. And I say, okay, show me your closet. Then you go look at the closet, well, this don't represent that. This represents the trends. This don't represent everything you just told me you wanted to be.
Correct.
People don't show up as themselves, they show up as trends.
Damn, that makes sense. Well, on this show, on the Trash Talk Show, brother, we play a game called Trash or Fire.
All right.
I ask you something, you either say it's trash or you say it's fire.
All right.
So we're gonna start out with the first question, the U.S. government.
Trash.
The police officers.
Super trash.
Black History Month.
It's in between.
Because you know it's been watered down, you know,
you know what? I don't like February black people.
Okay.
You know what
I say it's Black History
so
Month
I'm gonna
every
say,
month for me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put it in the trash. But I would say one thing though, it's necessary for people who otherwise wouldn't even focus on it at no other point in time throughout the year.
Okay.
I'm 365 black, not February black.
Facts. Today's culture, black. Today's culture.
I'm gonna say fire, because I ain't gonna never say, you know, something about us is trash. You know, it requires improvement, you know, it requires conditioning, but we as a people in our spirit, man, we run the world. It's the most fire thing about the world right now. If you take black people in America out of the world, man, shit boring as hell.
This shit definitely
It's
boring.
Bland, we ain't got no music, no style, ain't nothing going on.
We know that, and but we still tend to not, you know what I'm saying, to use what we are, like you say, our swag.
Yeah.
Like, we know we the shit. We know the sports world, or really not even the sports world, the doctors, the lawyers. Like, we run this shit, but we don't take control, like you said earlier, of this shit.
Yeah.
It's like we're scared to step outside the box.
Yeah.
We're afraid what somebody don't think of us, or they gonna take a check from us.
Yeah.
But when we are the check, we create the check.
Yeah.
Like, that has to change.
Yeah.
And it starts, I feel like it starts in the youth, us teaching the youth.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we are the shit.
Right. Because a lot of these old heads, man, it's over for them. You know, I don't waste my breath, you know, bothering with cats that's already stuck in the head on who they gonna be. But if you speak to the more of the 30 and under crowd, you can get people to change their ways, you know, and pivot, you know, and create some progress. But a lot of the old heads, you wasting your time. They already bought and sold. You understand me? And the only way they know how to do the next thing is waiting on the next check. But we're a generation of creativity and innovation. When you talk about entertainers, hell yeah. When you look at what we've created in America from an inventive standpoint, we don't have an equal. There's no people that has out-invented us from this time of period, from slavery till now. Everything from the doorknob to the filament in a light bulb. You can't walk into a door without it. You can't stop at a stoplight without recognizing the inventions of black people in America. You can't use your computer, your phone, nothing. So if you was to take us out of history, the world does not end this place of progress it is today. And so we are beautiful people because we take the worst parts of us and we turn into alchemy. You know what I mean? Look at the hood, you feel me? Like, in the hood is where you find all the creativity, all the culture. That's why the streets ain't messing with you. They don't rock with it because the streets represent originality. That's source, that's root. Everything else, when you get in the industry, that ain't the root no more.
No,
you understand me? You detached. But in the streets, that's where it's real at. If they love you in the streets, that means real people love you, not fake people. Right? So that's why we like, damn, if they love you, then that can influence the rest of the world. So the black street politics, they'll never tell you how valuable your perspective is. Right? But they always looking for it. Why? They always looking for the new trends through the streets.
Correct.
All these fashion designers who people could look to, they stole all that shit from the streets, from us. They made you feel like nothing, stole it from you, right? And then, you know, outpriced you in it, and now you bought it back. All you doing is buying yourself back. You feel me? But you know, we gods, and when we recognize that we gods, then we break all the chains.
Anything you got coming up you want to talk about, brother? Or?
Man, I got a world tour, the highest level tour. You understand me? We got a date in Toronto. It's gonna be the first stop for me, April 2nd. But yeah, I got a show with Dame Dash in Oakland.
Shout out to Dame Dash.
Yeah, good brother. You know, season 3, high level conversations, my book out. And we got a lot of different things. I'll keep going, you feel me?
Most definitely.
But man, I like what y'all doing over here, man. It's solid, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
I do high level conversations, he do trash talk, but you know, we cover it all.
Most definitely. Hey man, we just want to thank you for blessing us today here at
Yes, sir, man.
19 Keys. You welcome back anytime, brother.
Absolutely.
Conversation, I love it. We need to have more dialogue like this about our culture. And I love it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Keep the platform going, man. Keep adding different elements in the conversation. Therefore, different people tap into it for a different reason.
Yes, sir.
You know, they may come in thinking they gonna get one element, then they get surprised, like, damn, bro, I love your show. You gave me a jewel that changed my life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We just want to thank you for pulling up. Give it up for 19 Keys, everybody.
That kind of remind me of myself. You know, he never changed for nobody, and eventually the industry came to him and accepted him for who he was. That's Bernie Mac.
Most definitely.
Bernie Mac is 3 on my list.
Legend. Yeah. Shout out to Bernie Mac, for real.
Let me see. Then I gotta go with kind of like current. You know, now I'm gonna go with 2 current guys. I got 2 left. I'm going with 2 current guys. You know, Dave Chappelle.
He trash.